Hey everyone, what's going on? Joey here, and right now I'm going to give you all the tools to figure out who is under the mask of the mushroom. The number one person you guys cannot figure out. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. Let's get started. So yeah, we did this for the serpent the other week, and it was a lot of fun, so we're doing it again for the mushroom. Yesterday, actually technically it was like 2 o'clock this morning, I put a post on my Instagram, which if you don't follow me, it's at Joey Contino, that said, who do you think the mushroom is? Well, we had over 400 people write in. Thank you for writing in, by the way. There was a lot of people who wrote in, and I tallied up who the top 4 people you think is under the mask. Now, these 4 were taken out at 400. The top one received about 175 at Tay Diggs. Tay Diggs, I'm guessing because that was Nicole's guess. About 85 said Aloe Black. About another 85 said Jordan Fisher. And then the next one underneath of that was Todrick Hall. So I figured, why don't we go ahead, go through some clues and kind of figure out which clues match with these people. Let's go through the pitch correct audio and the singing audio to see what matches up. And at the end, you let me know who you think it is. Now, I do have to say there are a few different things we kind of want to look at. Starting off with the master clues. Right now, it seems, and this is, I mean, let's be honest, master clues are very hard to go by. But reading off what the master clues Nick gave us were, is that we're missing one person who has a Grammy nomination. No wins, just one Grammy nomination. Now, watching the mushroom perform, there's a few things you can kind of take away. First is what hand he uses while he's singing. He holds the microphone for the most part in his right hand. He does trade off every once in a while, but for the most part, he uses his right hand. And while he's singing, he uses his arms a lot and hand motions very fluid, we can kind of say. Now, looking at the 4 people that we know so far, Tay and Jordan Fisher use their right hand, Aloe uses his left hand, and Todrick uses both of them. Now, normally, we would go ahead and kind of compare everyone's pitch correct audio, meaning that when they're talking to the judges, we take that audio and we get the real voice out of it. But we've quickly realized that whoever is under the mask of the mushroom, they're really trying to play around with us. They mask their voice so perfectly because every time we do it, it sounds the same, but the voice doesn't sound like anyone, especially when you compare it to the singing. This is the audio that they gave us.
A bit, yes. The earth is such a beautiful place. And as the mushroom, I want to remind everyone that we are all connected.
Now, here's our pitch correct audio.
A bit, yes. The earth is such a beautiful place. And as the mushroom, I want to remind everyone that we are all connected.
So yeah, that sounds like no one that we have on our list, which tells me they're putting on some kind of act. They're making this person sound more flamboyant than they should just because it's really fun to kind of throw us off. Now you're going to say, well, why don't we compare the singing voices? And this is the one thing that, regardless of the clues, the one thing that you have to look at and say, well, obviously it's got to sound like this one person, right? But not with the mushroom. They're once again trying to throw us off. This mushroom has such a crazy range. It's insane. I mean, I'm going to give you 2 different examples on how this person sings, and you're going to be like, huh? And let's start off. I'm going to go ahead, and the first one I want to go ahead and give you is Song for You. Listen to the way they sing. Listen to their vowels. Listen how deep they kind of go.
But we were alone, and I was singing the song.
And now listen to Unconditionally. Listen how high he goes. Let's go ahead and compare the mushroom singing to everyone we have right here. So we'll do the mushroom into Aloe and so on and so forth. Here you go. So listening to them sing, do they match up to anyone? Let me know in the comment section. Let's go through the clues. And while we're going through these clues, I wrote down how they could relate to certain people that we already named so far. But hey, if there's a clue or something I matched up that either doesn't make sense, or maybe it's you got it wrong, or maybe there's more added to it, let me know in the comment section. Hey, the more clues, the better. And this is the third. Technically speaking, this is the fourth clue that we've had from in the clue package wise, because you've got 3 episodes in the preseason clue. Well, let's go ahead and let's start off with the preseason. The sneak preview clue, he says, if you want to know who's behind this mask, you need to figure out who's under all my hats. Now, this could mean 2 different things. It could mean someone who wears a lot of hats, like Aloe Black, or you can name it as something like this person wears a lot of hats because they do many different jobs. I mean, you look at Jordan Fisher, he's a singer, actor, rapper. You look at Tay, who's also a singer and an actor, and I mean, technically could say he raps because he did rap once. Todrick probably has the most hats as possible because he directed his own version of Oz. He's a singer, he's a rapper, he's a producer, he's an editor. So hat-wise, you kind of get stuck between the both of them. Next were the clues from episode 5. He went on to say, how does a mushroom grow to be a healer and a scholar? I sprouted out in the underground, young, scrappy, and fungi, which could be a reference to Hamilton. We know that Aloe, he was a trustee scholar at USC, but I feel like this clue package is talking about someone who is younger. But to continue with Aloe, about the underground, he started in the underground rap scene, so that could work. Todrick Hall sprouted out from the underground doing his Broadway shows with no funding whatsoever in like a really inexpensive stage area and built his way up, which was the Wizard of Oz, like I said, in the underground arts. After that, he talked about being in the rat race and started his career as a hobby and built his way up into a career, that one hobby, and that he worked at a place that may surprise us. Well, Jordan Fisher, he actually became interested in musical theater in 5th grade and just kind of continued with that. So, I mean, to me, that tells me that Jordan Fisher, this wasn't a hobby turned career. This seems like there was always his mindset for a career. Todrick Hall, on the other hand, I know he performed at Six Flags Over Texas, which is a job that you wouldn't expect. He turned his hobby into a dream because he just did that for fun while he was also taking classes for something else. Next, Aloe Black started at a consulting firm before he went into music, so that kind of works. Trey Diggs, on the other hand, was always somehow in music, so I don't really know that kind of works for him. Now, they did talk about the rat race, and to be honest with you, that can kind of relate to any of them, because in the field of acting, it really is a race, because there's a lot of actors coming in, you have to compete with them all, the rat race. We see them on stage in American Idol, kind of Star Search kind of stage, and it seems like everyone kind of had their foot in some kind of reality television. Todrick Hall was in the 9th season of American Idol. Jordan Fisher was on Dancing with the Stars. He sang on that, by the way. Tay Diggs was on I Could See Your Voice Now, but you can't really say that he got his start from there, so maybe that doesn't really count. And by the way, I would be upset if they went ahead and added yet another person from I See Your Voice on here, considering that Brian Austin Green was on here and did that. I don't think they would do that twice. If they did, come on, really? Then Aloe Black started off on MTV's The Cut. Then this person went on to say that people didn't understand them, but they kept growing and grinding until someone said yes. Once again, this could relate to all of them because they all had to grind to get where they are in life. Next, he says, I am able to rise up and help others grow. It may have been a broken road to get here, but it means the world to share the story on this stage. So share his story on this stage. You look at this and you have to say, obviously it's someone who does charity work. It's someone who maybe at a young age had a lot of problems that had to get through in order to get here. I mean, acting and singing wise, it makes sense, but Todrick also still lines up with him coming out and having to deal with the pressures of that, coming out to his family and his friends. That was a long road, and then helping others rise, he does do a lot for the youth. He says here, this is a quote that he said, I've made a vow to at least be myself and do everything in my power to trailblaze a path that young people of color and young queer people can be able to follow. So that kind of works for him. And keep in mind, I do know that Jordan also has helped out with many different charities, including those for troubled youth. The next clues were from episode 6. It started off at a school called North Spore High School. And he said, even as a young shroom, I knew was offbeat. So someone who knew they were different growing up. We know that Jordan Fisher was homeschooled in the beginning, so it can't be him on that one. Todrick Hall said that he was very different and liked playing with dolls growing up, and he wondered if his family would still accept him after he came out. He did go to a high school, and that's really no other clues I can go through right there for that. Visual clues, we see an orange slice. We do know that Aloe Blacc is from Orange County. We saw two black Beatles. Todrick and Taylor Swift did a mannequin challenge together, which featured the song Black Beetle. Now, the tiara, and there's also a bedazzled sunglasses, once again shows this person's flamboyant. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what's kind of jumping out at me right here. The mushroom is seen holding a Mean Girls-esque burn book with a picture of the kangaroo from season 3. That could be a playoff of many different things. Mean Girls was on Broadway. Jordan Fisher was on Broadway. His name is Jordan. Jordan Woods was the kangaroo, so that kind of connects. Todrick Hall did a Mean Girls parody on his YouTube channel, and also kangaroos are his favorite animal. So a couple play on things right there. Also, Taye Diggs was also on Broadway too, so that could also be a plug. They said that they were a nerd and outcast who decided to proudly share their unique gift, and said their weirdness led to where they are here. It's weird that they would use the word weirdness. Why weirdness? They feel like they're weird. And as of right now, the only person who mentions what they do is weird is Todrick. Aloe never said what he does is weird. Jordan Fisher loves what he does and says it's a gift. I think it may have been Taye Diggs who said he had a unique voice. I mean, to me, the only one that mentions weird in all of the research I've done has been Todrick. Now, after this were clues from episode 9. That's where the confidant came in and read some clues. He said, off the record, Mushroom has always been a go-getter. In high school, Mushroom had a class president GPA of 4.0. Well, we do know that Aloe Blacc did have straight A's and was class president. We do know that Todrick was almost a straight A student. I don't know Jordan Fisher's grades, so I can't really tell you about that, or Taye Diggs. The yearbook thing, I'm still getting no one on, by the way. They mentioned the yearbook, and it said KIT, which is keep in touch. This is where some of you guys said Pharrell earlier, because he was an N-E-R-D, or nerd. And I mentioned nerd later on, but unfortunately not too many people guessed him. But anyway, back to what we're doing here. He said, whether it's helping underprivileged youth or making phone calls for important causes, Mushroom's work ethic is unrivaled. Once again, this could be Jordan Fisher, because he helps with troubled youth and has done so many other different charities, but also Todrick Hall mentioned that he does help with the youth, especially the queer black community. So, it's kind of getting hard here, huh? Then we see an empty boxing ring, a bull, and then a doll with his hair being brushed. Well, Todrick has a song called Doll's Hair. Aloe Blacc had a music video in The Man, which depicts boxing. He also went to Melbourne Red Bull Academy and has a song Dollar, which you could say, like, I need a dollar, doll hair. You know what I mean? I know. Hey, it's a stretch, okay? Mushroom's game-changing clue. And this is one that's very, very important. And I guess maybe for some of them, this makes it probably even harder. That had an envelope, it says, do not open, especially on TV or outside. And then it says, the name I go by now was not the name I went when I first sprouted. So that means whatever they go by now is not what they used to have. So for example, Jordan Fisher. Well, he was adopted, so Fisher, his last name, is his adopted parent's name. So that's technically not his real last name. I know. Then we look at Taye Diggs. His real name is Scott Leo Taye Diggs. You probably didn't know that either. Aloe Black's real name, and I'm going to screw this one up. Aloe, I am so sorry. You're a good guy, and I'm sorry I'm going to say this wrong. Egbert Nathaniel Dawkins III. Man, that's hard to say. And then Todrick Hall, that's always been his name. Yeah, so those are all the clues. I don't know if this made it better for you or if it made it worse, because I'm pretty sure it made it worse. Look, at the end of the day, I really want to know what you guys think in the comment section. I know this was a long video, but I promise it was worth it. But thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. And I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.